Everybody, we are back. It is Taped On Live, favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also, go ahead and follow us on Twitter. It's at the Mark John NFL for me, at BD Williams 18 for BD. Also, PandaSupplements.com, PandaSups.com. Use TDL for 35% off. I got the shirt on again. So make sure, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and check that out. PandaSups.com, TDL for the discount code, 35% off. All right. So, we're covering the beatdown versus Saints, 24-0. Definitely an ugly football game all around, especially for the offense. I guess the defense, they kind of just, put in a lot of bad positions because the offense couldn't get past the 50. So, it was just, they got offensive line problems. I don't know how they're going to fix that. There's nothing that they really can do about that at this point. I don't know what their plan is with that. I don't know what their plan is. Luminor played better than Mumford this game, in my opinion. Mumford's been playing better than Luminor coming into this game, but Luminor is not a good run blocker like Mumford is. So I don't know what their plan is with that. The offensive line is a big problem. It's really most of this game is the offensive line. Just get their ass kicked. Offensive line just definitely got their asses kicked. And if it wasn't the offensive line, it was Foster Moreau getting his ass kicked. So, and he was in max protection a lot. So it didn't help that he was getting his ass kicked too. Yeah. So, even if you don't want to, if the offensive line grade or pressure amount, whatever that went to one person wasn't as much as Derek Carr was under pressure, is because a lot of it went to Foster Moreau a little bit, but he had to block. He's been blocking pretty well this season too. But he got his ass kicked. And then, Kolton Miller didn't play as well as you would like. Alex Bars. Dylan Parham, he plays better at the right guard. He is a left guard, but he's playing left guard for some reason, and he's sticking over there. He plays better at right guard. Right guard, he's basically lights out. I don't think he's made a mistake. 2 games he's played right guard.
Parham?
Yeah, 2 games he's played left guard. I don't think he's made right guard. 2 games he's played right guard. The first game and what was the other game he played right guard? Wasn't the Chiefs game? I think it was the Broncos game, maybe. He was damn
Broncos.
Good. Yeah, he was damn good there too, playing right guard. But they like him at left guard. That's what they want to do. But he's not playing as well over there. He's giving up pressure over there as well. So Derek Carr was basically under pressure the whole time, and then when he was under pressure, they would miss, or he's throwing an interception flat-footed for some reason. I don't know why he threw that pick, and then I get. No, I get why it was stupid.
They were blitzing. Those inside linebackers were blitzing a lot.
Not as much as They
did on the scouting report, definitely coming in. That was a big thing.
Yes, it was, but they didn't. It was more outside blitzes, so they sent more like the corners.
And you even showed me on the first play of the game. They get that run look. Running back stays in the block. Inside linebacker adds in on the blitz. So those inside linebackers there, they were blitzing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they blitz more than teams would usually. They blitz a lot early. It was a lot early on. So now that I look at it, like in the first half, they blitz 6 times. So yeah, they're coming after him. And that's I'm not even counting like run blitzes. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's
just blitzing the pass. Got you.
Yes, that's just blitzing the pass. But there's mad run blitzes too. Sending Chris Harris off the edge. It was just they just got their asses kicked, man. I don't know. There's really no other way to explain it. Somebody on Twitter told me how to go check out how Josh McDaniels did against the Saints the past couple of years, or last time he played them. And I guess last year they didn't score in the first half until 34 seconds left. They got a field goal. And then they didn't score again until like the fourth quarter. I think it was like 21-6 going in the fourth quarter against the Saints. So,
Credit to the Saints. Saints have built their defense to stop the run with a light box.
Mhm.
They've been able to do it. And the teams that are structured like that, I think, are going to be able to win because they're really NFL teams are just banking, like especially like the Josh McDaniels, the Kyle Shanahan's. Look at the Titans. Look at the Ravens. The Smash Mouth. When we want to run the ball, that's our identity. They're just banking that your linebackers suck.
Yeah, basically.
You know what I'm saying? And they're just
Yeah.
banking that you're only going to have a couple defensive linemen who can consistently get off blocks. But for the Saints, it was like all their defensive linemen were getting off blocks, and their linebackers were awesome in this game. So, Josh McDaniels, his entire, he's hedging his bets. Okay, we're going to play like this. It's a money ball approach. Linebackers in the NFL are just built to, defend the pass and stuff like that. And then they ran into a team that, literally, this is not
exactly. Exactly.
That's not us. Demario Davis weighs 260. Are you kidding me?
I know. That's what I'm saying. They basically ran into a team that was built to stop them. And obviously, they've been built to stop them for a while. I mean, the type of football they play, and even the coverages they play against the schematic of this offense, because this offense doesn't do a lot of slants, and they don't do a lot of the angle choice routes, slant choice route type of stuff that you see in the West Coast that could eat up this offense, this defense. I mean, and it was just, and then they couldn't block, and then they couldn't run the ball, and then Devontae Adams had the flu, so then he made those rookies look really good, which I don't think those rookies look really good if he doesn't have the flu. I think it's because I think it's a totally different game if he doesn't have the flu, because they were leaving him one-on-one with those guys.
Yeah,
and I don't think I'm gonna show that, but yeah, it would have been different, and it's Darren Waller play, but I can't say it. That's me making it.
We are missing Darren Waller. Do you think, hot take right now, is Darren Waller ever going to come and do something this year?
I think so. I mean, they need him bad, man. They need him bad.
Hoping against hope. Here?
They need him bad, and I think they throw the ball through the air better when he's in the game.
Yeah,
I think they do throw the ball better than the air when he's in the game. No matter what. How you look at it, I mean, against the Titans, he's in the game and he's getting some targets, or they're still throwing the ball downfield a lot better. Even the Broncos game, he was able to get some good plays downfield and even had some chances to get some throws downfield. I think he just opens things up a little bit for this offense because of the way they like to use him. So I think he's a big deal not being there. Because Foster Monroe they try to get Foster Monroe open sometimes. Nah, it wasn't working. They couldn't do that. He just wasn't getting open against these linebackers. Darren Waller can get open against these linebackers, but it was even a tough task for him sometimes to get open against these guys.
It has been in the past, yeah.
Yeah. So, but he still was able to. He still would have been able to eat in the middle of the field a lot better, just with speed and things like that, and some of the routes that they wanted to run. They had this one where they try to get Foster Monroe like a mesh route, and I'm just thinking that Darren Waller dusts people. He just dusts them, and Foster Monroe didn't. That's the route that Darren Waller has been dusting people for years. Is that quick drag? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would have dusted him, and it would have been a play, a nice game, right? They need Darren Waller out there, and the offensive line is not built for them to be down either. So it's just going to get ugly, and everything's going to be ugly from there on out. You know what I mean? If they can't block, it's not going to be pretty. You can get away with 1 week with Derek Carr having 40% pressure and him playing well. You can get away with that. But if you try to do that 2 weeks in a row, you're going to get this result. That's basically you try to go 2 weeks in a row with 40% pressure. You know what I mean?
Because we know with Carr, it's going to speed his process up.
Yeah.
It's and most quarterbacks, that's going to be the case.
Worst quarterbacks, if you go 2 weeks in a row with 40% pressure,
right,
and you're not a guy that's creating it like Russell Wilson or something,
So there are a few. It's fewer. There are a few quarterbacks who, when they're faced with that, they hold on to the ball longer and try to do. You know what I'm saying? And the majority of those, that's when they make mistakes anyways, right?
Yeah.
There's only a couple that consistently can do that, and then make big plays. But the majority of quarterbacks, you're under pressure a lot. You're going to get the ball. You're going to get rid of the ball quick.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to check down. You're going to get your check downs a lot quicker. You know, you're going to throw the ball away. You're not going to put in, you know, just stuff like that. That's the majority. Derek Carr definitely falls into that bucket, you know, and we have seen him have this kind of like issues with offensive line performance before in the past, and what that does to him. So hopefully he can get, you know, just to a point where he understands these guys. They're picking up, you know, they're just doing the bare minimum, just like picking up blitzes, picking up the protections, so he can sit in there, wait, you know, for guys like Adams and Renfro to get open. You know, I don't know. This seems like when they want to throw the ball, they want to throw the ball downfield.
Yeah, I mean, they're not trying to dink and dunk right now either. You know what I mean? Which they should be doing.
Which they should be doing.
They should be taking Kentucky a whole lot more. You can't do this whole like the dagger concept with the guy running 20 yards on a dig. And,
so yeah, 7-step drops with this offensive line. Come on,
7-step drops, but doing a sail route to Hunter Renfro. Like, I'm gonna show some of this stuff. They do like 20-yard sail routes to Hunter Renfro.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's just
takes 20 minutes to get open.
Yeah, man.
It's a shame. It's a shame that the offense, you know, has such a bad outing. Obviously, I know it was kind of like a perfect storm of things you're going to talk about with Adams and the offensive line, and you know, Derek Carr having a bad game and all this stuff. Right? Perfect storm. McDaniels getting outcoached. Perfect storm.
Yeah,
but it's a shame. It's a shame that the offense did that, because I think the defense, they played all right in this game. Like it was definitely not their worst performance.
Yeah.
And they were dealt a tough position, you know, tough hand with the field position in this game. And there was a couple instances where like they came away with stops. That, you know, they forced field goals when they really should have. You know, it should have been a touchdown, given you know where that offense had the ball, where they started off the ball. So they did all right. I think if the offense was humming in this one, if the Raiders' offense was humming in this one, I think defense. I think they were playing good enough where, you know, they should have been in the game.
Yeah.
You know. So
yeah, I mean, the offense was terrible, man. They were just laughable. I mean, like Jacobs he falls on a screen, and I mean they just sucked. They just sucked all around. It was pretty bad to watch. Well, it was just definitely a terrible watch for me. So,
but we should start with the offense, right? Obviously.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk about Adams not looking like himself, because you know somebody told me I was being a car stand about that, so I was gonna show it. Like, hey, I got film, bro. You know, so I'm gonna talk about that, and I'm gonna talk about Kolton Miller. With that one too. So, dude, little Kolton Miller, and yeah, man, it's just you know what I'm saying. I mean, it's just pretty funny, man, how terrible it was. I just couldn't believe it. Like, that's what it's just weird. You feel like it's not going to be like that every single week. So that's kind of the weird thing too. It's like, you know, I know it's not going to be like this next week, but we'll get into it.
I don't know, man. We've seen seasons start free falling before,
and no, not like this, because I mean, just based like what you said, like the linebackers and stuff. Like, I mean, the Jags don't stop the run like this. You know what I mean? Like, there's not like a team that's kind of built to stop how the
They're so young. The Jags are so young in their front seven too, but they have a lot. They have a lot of fantastic talent, though.
Yeah,
talent team.
I mean, they don't want to get down against Jags, because they start passing, they're gonna get killed. I know that, but
yeah, can't let that defensive line tee off.
Artie Key can't wait, man. He's been waiting for this game.
Oh gosh, yeah.
He can't wait. He said this game's circled. All right, here we go. Here we go. Okay. All right, so we can start off with a little Kolton Miller, right? Which I think he's having a inconsistent season. I believe. I don't think he's living up to, you know, what people expected out of him. I mean, they expected him to be the kind of the steady guy who doesn't give up many pressures. I know his PFF grade is still whatever. And I mean, he's had some good outings, but I think he's still been up and down. We're just going to watch why some of that is happening, basically. All right. So Let's watch this first set right here. This is, of course, jailbreak from everybody else, but it's fine. We're watching Kolton Miller. All right, so what I don't like about Kolton Miller is that he just leaves his chest so wide open. You know what I mean? And I know he's getting his hands in here, right? He's winning the hand fight. His chest is just so wide open. He's just trusting his power a little bit, his anchor ability. And I know he's gotten bigger, right? But you kind of can see how this guy can kind of just rip under a little bit. But he still has a good set because he landed his hand punch first there. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's just that chest is just so open. And watch. I'll show you him and Luminor, the difference in a second. But see everybody else getting their butt kicked. But he does have a good job because he has great feet and you see his athleticism. His feet are always really great. It's just more of his chest. I'm showing this like 3 times, but you see, Davenport he didn't go for it there. But watch, we'll show later how it kind of opens up everything when Davenport kind of notices that he's just giving his chest wide open. All right, so this is just on a screen, right? You see it again. The chest is wide open, and like I said, he's great in his feet though. And he's actually really stronger than I expected. He was before. You can see kind of get a good anchor there and kind of just push him. But it is a screen, so it really didn't matter. All right, 3rd and 15. Here you go against Davenport again. Like I said, chest wide open here, just wide open chest. And you see, he just can't get any leverage there, right? He's kind of off balance this time because of it. Now he's getting pushed back, right? And the guy just goes right around him. Derek Carr can't even get in a set. He's got to step up through it. And of course, Alex Barr is getting beat too. And he didn't complete pass. So watch one more time. So his chest is just wide open, right? Just wide open. And then you can watch Luminor. Don't watch Luminor's feet. Just try not to watch his feet. His feet are terrible. But you can just see where his hand placement is, right? Like they just switched. He had Luminor's hand placement, and he had Kolton Miller's feet. Man, they'd be great. It's combined into one player. Here we go again. Here goes Peyton Turner this time. I really like this. He gets a nice little snatch and trap this time. Snatch and trap, right? So the chest is still open, but you still a really good rep here for Kolton Miller. Against a young player, a young Peyton Turner. Shout out Cyril Penn. That was his boy right there, right? But you see, he's able to get his hands inside quick though, and Turner's not the most powerful guy in the world. He's not able to get a big push on him, right? But his hands inside. I'm just saying that's somebody else, right? But he does a good job of getting that snatch and trap, just knocking that hand down, snatch and trapping him right there. First down Raiders. I just love a good snatch and trap. Just toss him to the ground. Who are you trying to bull rush?
The best looking play in pass protection.
Right there. I like it. All right. Another one against Mr. Turner here. See right here. Now Turner's trying to attack him, get the bull rush again, right? And now they're playing a little patty cake here. But Turner just doesn't have the power to push Miller, right? Miller has a great base. Like I said, he has great feet. He's reset his base right there. It's kind of like you see the power, the athleticism that he's added, the strength he's added, right? But of course, the other two guys can't block on this line. Carr's got a bunch of guys in his face. All right. Well, we see like if he's playing, who they playing? Like Myles Garrett, those type of guys. You leave your chest open like that, he's gonna get murdered. So, this is like Marcus Davenport and Peyton Turner. All right, and then you see this way, he just goes right. This is an interesting one right here, right? So, Marcus Davenport goes right around him on this one. But it's just the hands, man. You know what I'm saying? And then look at Luminor, right? Look where Luminor's hands are. Start off, right? His hands are inside. He's got really good hands. Then you go back, you watch Kolton Miller. Kolton Miller just yeah, I just get the hand placement. And then saying he's caught leaning trying to punch. You get the swim right around him, but we get a nice little veteran trip here. I don't know what happened. I kind of dismissed with it. I'm just showing Matt Collins with the drop. People say that's a. All right, here we go. All right. So that's enough for Kolton Miller. Let's go and check out Davante Adams here and these guys on the offense and just how there was no separation. Okay, so it just wasn't Davante Adams that we usually see. All right, and you're gonna see it right here on this opening play right here. This is the first play of the game, right? So I really showed this play on Twitter. You're gonna see basically brackets on these 2-man routes when they come out in these 21. I mean, they were ready for this. They come on 21. We got basically a tight bear front right here. Get 2 linebackers. They got 7 in the box. They're ready to play these 2-man routes, right? Sorry, just a 2-man fronts. It's 2-man routes right here, right? So you got the brackets on the top of it. But, you just kind of watch Adams. I mean, it's just very, when he comes off his line, right? It's just not what just not the same burst you usually see out of him. Like, I didn't know what route concept this was. I couldn't figure out what they were doing. That's what I'm saying. A lot of it is he's kind of just, I don't know if was he supposed to keep going forward. I don't know what's supposed to happen there. Maybe he see Carr in trouble. It just wasn't a good look on that one. Right? And we'll talk about this play right here. Right, so in this one, we get kind of a boot look. So you get him going in, and I believe he's supposed to go out, but he goes to the corner, I think. Or I think he's supposed to go out. In my opinion, I don't know. I mean, this looks like a little off kilter on this one. You'll see that really nobody else is open here. Even if Derek Carr wanted to, let's just say that he had the best offensive line in football, and he had all the time in the world. And I mean, he wanted to throw this ball to Davante Adams. He probably could, but if let's just say he couldn't, I mean, there's nobody else open, right? Right. Diggs not open. Dula's not open. DJ Turner's not open. All he has is a little check down to Foster Moreau, right? But let's go back a little bit here. So you see here, Adams, right? I mean, he wins the route. He wins, right? But it just gets a little weird here because right here, he puts his hand up. I mean, the ball's in the air already. So, like, why did he put his hand up? I mean, the ball's already in there, right? So instead of finding the ball in there, he keeps running forward and just puts his hand up. So it's weird. So it's just odd. I mean, it's just stuff he doesn't usually do.
You're saying he drifted it.
Or something. Like, but even when the ball's in the air, right? See, the ball's in the air right here, right? Like, why is he finally putting his hand up like the ball's not in the air already?
Yeah, I see it.
Does he not see the ball? Was there lights problems? I don't know. Because Keelan Cole lost the ball in the lights too. He tried to catch imaginary football. All right. So this one right here, this is the kind of the play on the sideline. Right. So watch this one. Watch this one back. I'll stop it right here. I mean, basically, we're getting a stutter and go on this one, or I don't know if it's supposed to be a stutter and go. That's what he does. But then we get, the 2 digs on the opposite side. But you got 1-on-1. You want to go to Davante Adams, right? And hey, maybe Alontae Taylor is the best corner in football, or I just. All right, so we get the double move here, right? And then he gets him on the stutter and go. He gets some separation, but no, he's not getting any separation at all. I mean, he's kind of locked up. He's getting kind of pushed to the sideline a little bit, and Taylor misjudges his football, and that's more because Adams is so great with showing his hands late. So Taylor doesn't lose track of the football, right? But I mean, nowhere else we can really put that football. But what I'm saying, you're not seeing the same separation that you're getting that you usually see from. As I said, maybe this kid's the best corner. you've ever seen. Maybe he is. Maybe he's just the next great thing, and I'm wrong, right? That maybe he's ready to lock him up like this. But he was in his pocket the whole time. Like the whole stutter step didn't even work, right? And not even like he's playing trail or anything. So when Devontae Adams isn't separating guys, I mean, you got a little bit of you're gonna have a it's not gonna be an easy day for a quarterback. I'm not saying like maybe if you had something else or I don't know, it might have been 24-7. I don't know, but it just wouldn't have been an easy day because then like see what happened when Derek Carr decided to go somewhere else is when Devontae Adams would win, right? So he has him right here at the bottom, but he decides he wants to kind of play the middle of the field, right? I mean, the middle of the field's open. You're having a seam route from Foster Moreau. He's guessing he's going to beat Mario Davis, right? And then you also have, I mean, it's man-to-man on both sides. So you would hope Hunter Renfrow would have went on this side too, right? Or you would hope Matt Collins would win on this side, but nobody does. Only Devontae Adams wins on the weak side of this, right? So, right? I mean, if he throws with anticipation with him right there, Adams is open, right? This guy's falling. It's open. It's first down. But Carr's working this side of the field where nobody's open, right? I mean, this is when you have Darren Waller. I mean, Darren Waller probably gets open here. I think Darren Waller has a chance to probably beat this double team with the speed a little bit. But Hunter Renfrow does not get open at all. And to me, even with these juke routes, I mean, I see a lot in this playbook. A lot of them can go forward. I don't know if that's what happened on this play. I'm not going to say that he's supposed to go forward for sure. But I know on sometimes they can go forward. And I just would have liked if there was an adjustment for him to see this open the middle of the field and kind of give Carr some help here. But he's going back this way, and there's nothing there. And then since Carr wasn't looking at Adams when he had the one-on-one, nothing. Right. And then, you got these type of plays right here. The play action with we're talking about the deep sails, and there's just nothing. I mean, unless Carr went straight to this check down, which he could have went straight to the check down. At least it would have got past the 50 in the game. If he hits the check down, at least would have got past the 50. But there's really nothing here. And with the pressure, if Kolton Miller getting beat there too on the pressure. Nothing there on that one too. You kind of see this. I mean, even if there's time, let's just say that he's had a lot of time. I guess he could hit Hunter Renfrow really late when Hunter Renfrow wins really late in this rep, right? Like at the top of his drop, I mean, there's really nowhere for him to go, right? Nothing. Man, just all over everything. And it was weird, man. They really didn't play this type of defense going into this game, which was interesting too. So I really felt like they really had this scheme pretty set up. Then we talking about Kolton Miller a little bit, so we get a little Kolton Miller mixed in here with this one, right? See, they just push him around, but then Alex Bars, it's getting beat. Doesn't matter.
Oh gosh.
And then like on this 3rd and 6, he ends up getting the drop on this one. And, we talk about Derek Carr taking one-on-ones, right? And, you always want him to take the one. I mean, he's got Devontae Adams one-on-one on a fade. You take that every single time, because just like the last time he didn't take it, Foster Moreau and them aren't open, right? So this time he takes it, right? And of course he's about to get popped. But Devontae Adams still didn't win again. That's what I'm saying. Maybe Alontae Taylor is the best corner in football. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. I don't know. When you say he doesn't win here, I mean, they're side by side right here. Like how many times have you seen Devontae Adams on a fade be side by side? And then, I mean, he does a good job adjusting this football. but then he drops it. So I mean, that was a big factor in this game is that he was not consistently able to get open like he usually does, right? And you know what I'm saying, like the one time that he ended up didn't winning, they didn't throw him the football. So, I mean, I could go into like the offense. I could go to like every single player and do like a 20-minute segment. I didn't know what to do. I was really struggling to figure out what I should do. So, I mean, I'm probably gonna do some more on the side, but I mean, I really could have did like the whole show. It could have been the whole show, but it could have been how sucky the offense went. But
pretty bad.
Yeah, so you know, I did want to highlight a little bit of Kolton Miller. I forgot to put the sack in there that he gave up against Jarrett Stidham. That really showed him putting his chest and giving his chest up, and why he's struggling a little bit there. But I mean, he's still a good player, but he's just not playing as well as he should be. And I don't know if that's because he doesn't have the other guys around him. Maybe it's the communication things. Maybe it's splits. I don't know. It could be something like that. I'm not sure. But yeah. But to me, in my opinion, if Devontae Adams is healthy, though, I think it's a different game. I still believe that 100%. Devontae Adams is healthy. Yeah. He's not sick. I mean, he's still sick, bro. He's in the injury report today. Limited. He was limited in practice for the same flu. And we are, almost a week and a half in now with the flu and having the flu? So.
Still sick.
You know, he's still sick.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I agree it would have been a different game. But seeing how much everyone else was struggling to win one-on-one,
yeah.
Even if Devontae Adams was on his A game, right? You know, those other guys weren't. I mean, aside from maybe like 2 or 3 of those reps, he had a safety. They still had a safety over Adams the entire time.
Yeah.
Right. Or hanging out on his side. Right. Mm-hmm. So those other guys, they had opportunities to be one-on-ones. They did not win their one-on-ones. Hunter Renfrow, we saw. I mean, you know, he's running whip routes right into outside leverage, stuff like that. You know, it's just like. No, so I know what you mean, but it still seems like just watching the tape, no one else was winning either. It's not like, you know, they were just like heavy trying to get Devontae Adams worked in and Hunter Renfrow was just wide open in the end zone, you know, jumping around. No, it's not like that was the case. So, I mean, they're really struggling. So how you've texted me offline, you know, about this, but, you know, for the viewers, how confident are you that this offense shakes back?
I think the run game is going to shake back. That's what I think it's going to shake back. I think the run game is going to come back. They're not going to play a team like that that can stuff them like this and kind of beat them up front. I mean, we're back to the finesse teams. You know, I mean, I think they might have a little trouble with like Gus Bradley. I think Gus Bradley, I know he's not known to stop the run, but I mean, when they want to stop the run and their scheme, I think they're gonna feel confident playing man to man and all that stuff. They're gonna feel more confident doing more things like that. I think that's what they have to worry about, in my opinion, is these teams after watching this film, like they could play 2-man and play these type of looks and feel like they could shut everybody down and force Derek to throw to Adams with no choice, especially if Waller's in there. Because Waller kind of changes everything. You can't do all that 2-man stuff with Waller in there, right? He's going to have like 8 catches like he did against the Cardinals. I mean, the Cardinals game, they got away from that in the second half. I don't know why they stopped throwing the ball to Darren Waller like they were in the first half. But in the first half of that game, they were throwing Darren Waller like crazy up the seam. And he was able to eat against those 2 high cover 2-man coverages that they were running, right? So they have to, you know, get him back, really. That's kind of a big factor here. Because he's the only other guy that can win. He wins, right? You know, he doesn't win all the time. He's not going to win every single time, but he's going to win 80% of the time, you know, and, you know, Devontae Adams is going to win 99.9% of the time, right? So, you know, you want that 99.9% of the time guy, and you're that 80% of the time guy, because I don't know what happened to Hunter Renfrow. I don't know if they just neutered him. Maybe they neutered his routes, neutered his shape.
They definitely did.
Right? They neutered that, so he's not the same guy, right? I mean, it is what it is. But you know what I'm saying, maybe he's not reading those things right, because I kind of feel like, you know, on that whip route you're talking about, like I know there's adjustments to it. I know there is. So, but I don't know if there's adjustment on that exact route that he's running. But I know
Right.
there's adjustments to those rip routes, right? And maybe he could have just kept going forward,
Right.
and maybe that opens everything up too. And then he kind of, Carr can hit him real quick on that play. But you know, it it was just ugly, bro, and all around. And
Yeah.
it's just hard to explain. I just don't think that would happen again because it was just that bad. There's no way. There's no way it could happen. They aren't that bad on offense.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
That's why it's like
Throw it away.
on offense.
Oh yeah. Hopefully you don't have to talk about this game ever again. You just go back to being a top 10 offense against the Jags. Hopefully the defense can take a step forward, not give up over 21 points, and I think maybe Raiders pull out a win. But let's transition so we can stop talking about this crappy performance on the offense. Let's transition to defense.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that the Raiders did a pretty good job stopping the Saints' run. The Saints came out tons. 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends, jumbo personnel, all that stuff, right? And when Alvin Kamara was the primary ball carrier, he only averaged 3.4 yards a carry. They did a solid job stopping the run. So that's what I want to talk about first before we get into, some of the areas where they were struggling. So let's get into it. So let's talk about the run defense. Okay. Like I was saying before, they're doing a great job. Here's Max Crosby just screaming off the edge here, try to block him with the tight end. Good luck. I think that's an idiot move, honestly, at this point. He's pretty much shown you cannot block him with the tight end. But a lot of guys do a great job. Here's Blake Martinez here, and they're in 4-3 personnel. Martinez reads it, scrapes across, gets in on that run stop. Okay, it was everyone. Okay, look at Billings, does a fantastic job fighting the pressure from the center. Okay, getting his weight down, throwing the guy past him, getting that run stop in the hole. Okay. This one is a phenomenal play for Max Crosby. He reads the down block. He knows that he's going to get this guard pulling. And he just does, completely unorthodox, just makes this guy look like an idiot. Swims. Guys dancing around over there. Max Crosby gets another run stuff. Guys, some really good, some good looking plays here. This one's from Devon Diablo. They're running a blitz. Perryman's going to blitz into that A gap right there. Diablo's going to be kind of a free hitter to scrape over the top. Meets the running back in the hole for a run stuff. Okay. So, I mean, they did a really good job. A fine job. Here's Chandler Jones coming off the edge. Tight ends trying to block him one-on-one. Nope. Okay. Jumps on the ball carrier. So they did a really good job. This is the last one. Blake Martinez. We got Taysom Hill. Run game. Okay. Watch him. Okay. You see Blake Martinez here. He's waiting, being patient. Sticks Taysom Hill in the hole. Okay. Despite, them being able to stop the run, and I think that it helped stall some of these Saints drives. I mean, they were put into a bad place field position wise. And there was 2 occasions. This is one play where Saints got the ball back. They were around like the 30-yard line, and they held them to a field goal try. Here the Raiders are playing over here, a too high look. They're getting an alert here where they're going to get a screen. So you see both the corner and the nickel kind of bail out of their zones right there to kind of jump that screen look. And it's a double move, kind of a tricky play. But first of all, great recovery from Rock Yassin to just get his hands on and just slow this guy down just a little bit. And then Trayvon Merritt comes over the top. Can't get both feet in. Would have been a fantastic play. if that was the case. 2 plays later, they had to settle for a field goal attempt. The Saints. Here's another one where they got down low in the red zone. I believe that this is a third down, a third and short. They decide to go with a pass, play action against cover one. And you see here, Dalton first. He thinks, I'm going to throw it here, but then Amik Robertson gets into the right spot. So then he has to pull it down, and he double clutches, comes back later, tries to throw it over the top, but it's too late, throws it out of bounds. Okay, so good job in coverage. There was a couple instances where they got down in the red zone, favorable field position, defense was in a tough spot, and they held them to a field goal attempt instead of giving up a touchdown. But when they struggled, one of the biggest reasons was Anthony Averett down here at the bottom of the screen. He really, really struggled in this game where he was going to place a cover 4 look. And in this cover 4 look, really, on the backside, you should have a double in, out, 30 and 29 are going to be doubling that X. So if he crosses that hash, I think Averett really, he just needs to robot over the top. I don't think that he needs to follow this guy over the hash because he's got help inside here. So I think that he doesn't really need to sell out. And you see he's like full sprint. You see the stride length. He's out of control. He's not going to be able to break down now quickly and efficiently enough to contest this. And I just think that he needs to just be a little bit more patient and play his leverage, stay outside leverage on that. Here's another one, bottom of the screen. It's a blitz. It's a cover 1 blitz. So I don't know if he should be outside leverage or inside leverage on this. It seems like they've been switching things up, from week to week. So I still got to tamp in on that. But bottom line, okay, when you have a transition like this where you plant, okay, he's playing with his left foot, but then he takes this big, huge step behind him, okay, and that's called a bucket step. So if you have a transition like that where you plant and then you step behind yourself, that's a bucket step. You can't win in the NFL doing that. Okay, and that was one rep. Here's another one. They're in a cover 1 blitz again. I think they need to banjo this. They need to switch this off. They need to stop playing lock. This is a stack. You have Trayvon Merritt right here. He's a DB. Let him come down, play banjo on this. But instead, they're just still playing lock. So I think that this is really on Patrick Graham. But anyways, we see him here get beat on that little rub route, little switch release when they're playing lock against a stack. Look, I mean, that's all scheme right there. And last one for Anthony Averett. Top of the screen. This is a 3rd and 1. Okay, got to have it. He's in man coverage, and you see him here start guessing. Okay, cross his feet over. Gets beat inside. I think if you are going to open up, you need to be in a situation, in a spot, in a position with your body where if he comes back inside, he has to go through you. Okay, so there's no real reason for him to open up when the guy is not even with him yet. He needs to fight to stay square and step his feet and hips in front of the receiver here instead of opening up. So that's just bad technique in press man coverage to give that one up. Oh, I lied. Here's another one for Anthony Averett. Oh my gosh, how many did this guy have? Okay, bottom of the screen. Let's see. Let's see this one. Actually, I think I might have. Oh, okay, yeah. This was one that I accidentally left in there. Okay. All right, and then now let's talk about the other problem that they had, which was giving up extra yardage after contact. Okay, you see Taysom Hill gain a few extra yards after the run for your first down there. Okay. Oh, this one back here. Yeah. This is another example. Taysom Hill getting a catch across the middle of the field. Okay. We don't tackle him right here short of the sticks. Instead, by the time we get him on the ground, he's already fallen forward for another 6, 7, 8 yards. Okay. It leads to a first down. Okay, we already saw that one. Here's another one. This time it's Alvin Kamara on a little angle route. Okay. We don't tackle him here. here, or here. Okay. He gets into the end zone, breaks 3 or 4 tackles. This is another example. I think it's pretty much the same exact route, little angle route. Okay. And instead of breaking tackles, he just outruns everyone to the end zone. Right. So they struggled tackling, and Anthony Averett was giving up everything. I mean, Rock Ya-Sin, he wasn't locked down either. I think he gave up 2 catches. He also had a pass interference that went for a first down. So it's not like Rock Ya-Sin was locked down either. But Anthony Averett was definitely getting roasted. I think it is time. I think we've seen enough. I don't know if Anthony Averett is hurt, whatever it is. But Sam Webb's got to get in because it can't be worse than that, right, at this point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, defense definitely, there's still problem areas as far as what they did against the run. Okay, it's enough where if the offense is humming, the offense is doing great, maybe this defense is in a position where they can, make some plays and, put this team, in a position where they can win the game as long as the offense is humming. But it still has so many holes on defense. You saw the missed tackles. You saw the extra yardage afterwards. You saw, it seems like each week one of these guys is just getting picked on and just getting roasted. It could be a different guy each week. So until they can, start making some plays in the secondary against the pass, I think it's going to be tough sledding for this defense.
Yeah. Because really what happened is, defense just wasn't good enough to overcome those type of situations, and so I mean they're sort of dependent on the offense to be great, right, and kind of lead the way, right, and they kind of feed off the offense being great. When the offense comes as flat, they're just not gonna, even if they're getting stops or whatever,
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me like the Falcons game, where like the Falcons game, like the defense didn't play bad that game, but it's still 46-3 or whatever, right?
Right.
So
something about that NFC South, man. Something about that
on the
NFC
road,
South.
man. The road. I don't know what it is. The Raiders players in the South, man. They go south.
I know.
Oof.
Gosh.
Man. This is Carolina. I guess they don't like Carolina, Atlanta, and New Orleans. It's
Tough for them.
Tough for them. But yeah. I mean, I think that's really what happened with the defense in this game. What did you think of the pass rush altogether? I mean, there really wasn't that much passing.
It was tough. It was tough to get into situations where, where they wanted to rush pass. I mean, you saw when they were throwing the ball on 3rd and 1s, it was play action, stuff like that. But when there was pass rush opportunities, definitely didn't get enough pressure. But with the ebb and the flow of the game, the way that it was, and then just really playing with that lead and protecting that lead.
Yeah.
From so early on in the game, it was just tough to get into that rhythm, rush the passer. So it's one of those things where, the rich get richer, and when you're playing with a lead, your defense is going to have all these great pass rush stats. You know what I mean? But it's just because it's just like, well, yeah, because that's what you're doing for the majority of the game is you're rushing the passer.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of one of those things where it just didn't work out for them in the situation of the game to get after the quarterback. But that being said, when they had the opportunities, they didn't really make much of them.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So any other thoughts about this ugly game so we can throw this one in the trash or watch it?
Throw it away.
I didn't finish charting because I was like, man, but I have to if I want to have my correct charting stats. So I have to watch Jarrett Stidham.
You have to watch Jarrett Stidham, yeah.
I have to. I've been avoiding it all week. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've been avoiding watching Jarrett Stidham. I mean, he did have some throws. Like he was like sporadic. I don't know why they don't run that offense that they run with him. And they had him get rid of the ball like in two seconds. So they got carved.
Yeah, running all those hard plays for him.
Running the deep daggers. With Alex Barrs out there.
Yeah.
And rookies.
Bad game plan.
Deep sales. Like, I don't know. They got to switch up how they pass. You know what I'm saying? Because just in case they get in this type of situations, you can't be like, we're going to run the ball, play action, throw deep, and throw intermediate digs. Like, I feel like that was like their game plan the last 2 weeks. Before that, And yeah, it might have been working, against those teams you play, but this game, the tape said that was not going to work. You weren't going to get any digs this game. You just weren't. It just wasn't the type of defense they play, and you got to just slant them to death. They didn't slant them to
Right.
death. It's like whether one of their best plays of the game, their longest pass play of the game, was a quick slant that had another slant behind it. The best play of the game, right to Matt Collins, 13 quick. All game.
13 was their best play of the game.
There was 13 yards. Yeah, 13 yards to Matt Collins.
That was the longest play.
Oh no! Oh, sorry, my bad. 16-yard run to Josh Jacobs.
16. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there was one explosive.
Yeah, one explosive
Yikes.
play. One explosive play, Josh Jacobs.
Wow.
Yeah. And most of those yards is him dragging Tyrann Mathieu. So he dragged Tyrann Mathieu for 5 yards. So
Right.
yeah. So I mean, that was mostly just him. And that was a lot of the game too.
Willed it. Yeah.
That was a lot of the game too. Is that they were tackling him. So
Right.
because the offensive line kind of played. I know they played really well against the Texans, but like against the Chiefs and the Broncos, they weren't excellent, right? It was mostly Josh Jacobs, and what we saw was just Pete Warner just tackling the hell out of him just every time in open field, and then Alontae Taylor, who's the best corner in football, is making tackles too. That's what I'm saying. Like either Devontae Adams.
The funny thing is with the flu, okay,
Yeah.
is it's an illness. I'm not sure if people knew this, okay, but it's contagious. So if one person has a flu, that means at least 15 other people have the flu as well. Come on. Only Devontae Adams has this contagious illness. That's the only guy. Are you kidding me?
He's on the plane.
He wore a hazmat suit like the entire time. Like what? So yeah, I think Devontae Adams had the flu, but I think there's probably other guys that were symptomatic as well, because everyone looks flat out there.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting too. I think with the offensive line playing, I'm kind of thinking like, does Derek Carr survive the season? Like, does he's already got his back injury.
Right.
His head got hit the ground. He got thrown to his head. I don't know how he got up from that hit. That last hit he took, and they took him out like right after that. That's why I didn't play that last series, because that hit he took. But I don't know. I don't know if he survives, man. I don't know. We'll see though. We'll see. People might get their wish. They might see some Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah.
He keeps taking hits like that. He's getting his ass kicked. Man, I don't know how he gets up sometimes. I was like, he's not getting up from that. And the last 2 weeks, he's got a really slow a couple times. He's got a really slow.
Right.
Texas game, he got a really slow.
He's getting too much.
That hit that Peyton Turner put on him, man. Woo!
He's getting it too much.
Wait,
but yeah, maybe like you're saying, people will get their wish. People who want to see Jared Stidham.
They're gonna get it.
If that's the kind of football that you like to watch.
Yeah, because he's Oh, man, he's getting. Whew. It's been 2 weeks in a row too. The Texas game, he got his butt kicked against Texas too, man. Chiefs, he's getting his butt kicked every week. So
yeah, right. Well, they can't pass protect.
It's adding up
for sure. Good point. Might not make it through the season.
And then you get that type of performance like that, man, where he's just he's under pressure the whole game. He's not you all know he's not the greatest quarterback under pressure. So he's under pressure 50% of the time every week. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly, and they're not getting open. He's under pressure 50% of the time. They're not getting open. Yeah, it's going to get ugly from here on out if it stays like this. So hopefully they can run the ball and
yes,
get back to that. That's what we want.
Need a plan. McDaniels needs to kind of regroup, figure out how to highlight the strengths of this team. Because right now, he just kind of has a one-size-fits-all approach. It's not working.
Yeah, because last thing I'll say, I guess, will you put some thoughts in my head, because I've been kind of mad about this offense all week. When you watch like the different Perkins out there. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of ways you can build this offense around players. So there's one Alabama, right? Alabama that Bill O'Brien uses that he built around Bryce Young, right? So it's more built around Bryce Young's skill set. There's the one Bill O'Brien built around Deshaun Watson's skill set. He built this same offense where your pocket passer sitting in the middle. He adapted it to Deshaun Watson. Then there's Brian DeBall who adapted it to Josh Allen, right? And now you see Josh Allen. It's same offense. Now he's adapting it to Daniel Jones, right? And we're not seeing Josh McDaniels adapt this to Derek Carr. That is kind of
interesting.
Like Bill Musgrave took this offense and he adapted it to Derek Carr because it's a very adaptable offense. You can fit it around somebody's skill set if you figure out what the skill set is, and if you take that deep dive and don't think you're just a quarterback wizard. You just you're just gonna go out there and I don't know, but that's kind of how it is. I mean, that's kind of like when I think about it, like why Derek Carr's in the scheme before he played really really well, and why he's not playing. I mean, he's playing overall. He's playing average football overall. It's more about what is being built around it because Bill Musgrave gave him 7-step drops and gave him like deep, not deep 7-step drops, but gave him a lot of options, check down too, but also gave him the offensive line obviously too.
Offensive line.
Yeah, right. But I mean, that kind of built all around it too. I mean, they built the offensive line around him though, on purpose, for that reason, so they could run the scheme effectively. Because you can't run the scheme effectively without a good offensive line.
You can't.
Yeah. So
obviously,
that's my last rant about. It's just everybody else is adapting their scheme to this, and I don't think Josh McDaniels is doing that right now. So.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll leave it at that. I don't have anything else to add. We could go on and on, honestly. Exactly. So we'll save some content. That's it.
All right, guys. We're out of here. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. We are out. Peace.
Peace, y'all.